don't know how who their upline is and how that all came to be. I have known Sundee we moved to Texas when I was in 5th grade. Sundee's dad was our pastor of our church, and our families have been longtime friends since then. So you can imagine, I won't tell you what year I was in 5th grade, but it was a long time ago. So we have known Sundee and her family for a really, really long time. Sundee is the one that when I told her I've been taking Plexus for a little while, and she's the one that said those magic words that you've heard me say, well, you ought to think about being an ambassador. And of course I said those magic words back to her of, well, I'm not selling anything. And she said, you don't have to, your family's already buying it. So they might as well buy it from you. So that is kind of how our journey got started, and it just snowballed from there. I'll never forget the night Amber and I sat down with Sundee at a Starbucks and said, okay, I was an ambassador. Amber wasn't an ambassador yet. She was a customer. She went home, I think that night, and signed up, or within the next few days. Sundee was relatively new and shared just the comp plan with us. That's really what she did. I walked away very confused because if you've ever heard the comp plan, you know that it's overwhelming. But I knew a couple things. I knew Sundee she was serious about this business, and she was going to take it all the way to the top. She was not just going to settle at, I think she was gold at the time, and she was not going to just stay at gold. I knew that there was money to be made in this business, and let's face it, I already believed in the products. That wasn't even a question. I already was having huge success with the products. So I knew that this business could change lives, my family's lives. And so I knew Sundee was who I wanted to hop on board with. So that's kind of how this all came to be. And so I'm super excited. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to turn it over to Sundee. And, I just found out her air conditioner's out in her house. Sorry about that, Sundee. That's not fun. But we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Sundee. She's going to share a little bit with us, and then we're going to go into some Q&A that you guys, some questions you guys came up with. So Sundee, go ahead, unmute yourself and share with us.
Thank you so much, Gina and Amber, for asking me to be on this call. I'm so excited. I love every one of my team members, and I want to help everybody that I can. And this gives me another way to get to meet y'all and get in front of you a little bit. I absolutely love Gina and Amber and their family. Like Gina said, I've known them, it seems like forever. And they seem like family. That's how long I've known them. And actually, Brother Connie, don't tell your mom I said that. Brother Tim and Miss Connie are literally my parents' best friends. And my parents just love them. And we all are like family. And so it's fun to do business with family. This is one thing that you actually can do business with people and not be like, I don't want to do business with family. But real quick, I want to share with you my story. It's super easy. I had been, I'm in my 40s, and I've been diagnosed with PCOS when I was younger, when I first got married. No kids. And we actually ended up adopting my 2 kids because I was diagnosed with PCOS. And all kinds of symptoms. If you don't know what it is, go Google. It's terrible. And lots of cysts and emergency room visits and all kinds of stuff. And my friend Alicia McKee, we were friends the first year we got married. All got married together. We were in supper club together. And thank goodness for Facebook, because it kind of keeps everybody together. You know, you follow certain people. And she was posting about Plexus. And I remember thinking, hey, I looked at my husband. I was like, hey, Alicia's posting about something called Plexus. And he was like, okay. You know how guys are. Okay. And she kept posting every day that she felt better. She had more energy. She was actually losing some weight. She posted that she was promoting, making money. And every time I was like, well, good for Alicia. I was actually happy for her because I was her friend, and I actually wanted her to see well, even though I didn't have anything to do with Plexus at the time. But she posted something personal. She posted about PCOS, that she had had it, and she had had her blood work drawn and no longer had it anymore, which this, is a revelation of why you should post about stuff on Facebook or tell your friends, because I'd known Alicia for 20 years and did not know that she had PCOS. Okay, because usually you don't walk up to people and go, "Hi, I'm Sundee and I have PCOS," or "Hi, I'm Amy and I have migraines." People just don't walk up and say what their illnesses is. So when you have success with something, if you share with your friends, you have no idea whose life you're going to touch with that knowledge. So I definitely want to encourage all to share and share something personal. But that post alone, I reached out to Alicia and I said, "Hey, what's this plexus stuff that you're posting about?" And pretty much the rest is history. She sent me some information, and I decided to sign up as an ambassador. I knew it was the cheapest way to get my products. My husband and I are, I have 2 kids that are adopted, 2 kids in private school. And I'm a stay-at-home mama, but by all means, that did not mean I was wealthy at all. We sacrificed so that I could stay home with the kids and put the kids in private school. So I knew that I could not afford the products unless I got it at the cheapest price, which is the ambassador price. Not only that, I had to figure out, by looking at the comp plan, we figured out that if I got 5 customers, I could pay for my own products. I could make enough money to pay for my products, and that was my goal. I didn't think I was going to be diamond one day. Never thought I would even be a gold ambassador. All I wanted was those 5 customers, and pretty much the rest is history. I jumped in and I actually signed up, and the very next day posted about Plexus on Facebook and just said, "Hey, Facebook world, I'm doing Plexus now. It's a health supplement company. Who wants to do it with me?" And I just, without even having any products, I just kind of jumped out there and started posting, and like I said, the rest is history. But that's my little story into how I got introduced into Plexus, and I know that we are going to have questions and stuff. So, is it fuzzy? Are y'all hearing that, or is that just me?
It was just for a few seconds on my end, anyhow.
It's not bad.
I love that.
All right.
You jumped right in. You started sharing right away. And that's what we tell people to do. And oftentimes people get so scared by that and think, well, I don't have my story yet. And just an encouragement to those of y'all, maybe this is your first Zoom call and you're just getting started. You don't have to have your own story yet to start sharing. There's tons of stories and testimonials out there at your disposal that you can share. So jump right in and start going for it.
Well, not only that, one of the biggest fears most people have is, "Ooh, I don't know all the information about it. How am I going to explain it?" If you're brand new, you have the perfect excuse. You can say, "I don't know, but let me ask my friend," and whoever your sponsor is. Let me ask, Gina, and I'm sure, or Gina sponsored you, or Amber, whoever sponsored you. Let me ask my friend with your question, and she'll tell you all the answers. I can't use that excuse. I've been doing it for almost 3 years. If somebody asks me a question, I'm like, I better know the answer. But if you're brand new, nobody's expecting you to know the answer. Use that excuse as long as you can. "I don't know, but let me find out for you." It's okay to answer with that.
Absolutely. Dana, are you going to take the first question, or do you want me to?
I can. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. So, Sundee, these are all questions. And like I said, guys, we're moving through this call a lot faster than we normally would. All 3 of us are here in the Dallas area. So I'm keeping an eye on the weather, and I know a bunch of you are too. So, but I'm thrilled with how many we have on here. This is awesome. 97's awesome. Okay. So, Sundee, first question. And I hear this one a lot, so I'm anxious to hear your answer. How important is team page participation, and how does a leader keep from getting discouraged about the lack thereof?
Well, I'm going to start off with the leader part first and then move into the participation part. As a leader, you just have to do your part and use the team page. What it's really meant for is building community and building a culture and building a family environment and training your team. This is your chance to actually train your team without being one-on-one with them. But as far as you can't make your team participate, and I know when your teams are smaller, if you have less than 250 people on your team or on your team page, you can see who sees your post and who participates, and it can be discouraging. When you're looking at that, you're like, I know she saw my post and she didn't even comment. I know that. We've all been there. But after you get to past 250, you can't see. who sees what post, and you can't hold them accountable. Just know that everybody is on their own journey. And I know everybody gets sick of me saying that, but it's true. You can have somebody that maybe is a rock star, and maybe they're going through a rough time right this second, and maybe they're not going to be as active as they usually are. If you just stay in touch with them, they'll hopefully come back in and being active. But you can't make somebody. So here's the flip side of that is I tell all my brand new ambassadors when they join about the team pages and how important they are, because if you have ever done another MLM, I have. I don't know if y'all have. I felt all alone. I felt, your sponsor would contact you, once a month, and honestly, I did. I felt all alone unless you were going to all the stuff. And a lot of times it was meetings or host parties that were away from family, and I felt alone. These team pages to me are so much fun. So I try to encourage my brand new person about how important the team page is. You are immediately connected with everybody on your team, and to jump in and feel like it's a family and ask questions. I also encourage them that if they see somebody join, go ahead and welcome them. Don't just like that post. Go ahead and say, welcome to the team, because you know what? When you sponsor your first person or your 10th person or your 100th person, you're going to want the team to say, welcome to the team, or congratulations. If you see people promote on your team, okay, don't look at it as, oh, I didn't promote, and you get upset. No, get excited. You know why? Because and post on there. So say that Amber just promoted to Diamond. So everybody should be like, congratulations, Amber, you rock. You're awesome. Okay, because you know why? When you promote, when you get to silver and you get to gold, you're going to want the team to congratulate you. And that's that whole doing to others as you'd have them doing to you kind of thing. And I explain that as far as the team pages. And then plus also emphasize it's used for training, that you need to hop on there because we're posting stuff. If I post something or Jana and Amber post something, we're not just like, oh, well, I'm supposed to post on my team page today. What can I just randomly put on there? No, usually it's because we're trying to help you and train you so you can reach Diamond one day as well. I hope that was okay.
Yeah, that was really good. I love it. Okay, question number 2. This is kind of a long one. Here we go. As your customer base and team grows, how often do you check in with your customers and see how it's going and how they're doing? Then she says, when I first started as an ambassador, it was easy to touch base with them frequently. Not that I'm complaining, but my customer base has grown and I don't want to lose that personal contact. I'm afraid I will lose them. So as your customer base grows, how often should you continue to check in with them, and then also your team members?
Okay, so I'm sure everybody's different on this as well. Jan and Amber might train on something different, so I'm just going to share with you what I do. And this is just a different perspective. When you have a brand new customer sign up, I always, you're so excited, and I always ask them, please text me or call me when you get your product. And if I haven't heard from them in 7 days, guess what? That lets me know that I need to contact them and ask, did you get it and didn't tell me? Or do I need to call customer service for you because it got stuck in shipping? Okay, so that kind of lets me know. That way, if you wait too late, if you wait to where it's, 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they're just mad because I didn't get their products yet, if you kind of tell them, let me know if in 7 days, within 3, 5, 7 days, let me know when you get your product. I'm so excited for you. But that kind of overcomes one of the battles that you might have with that. Then after they get the product, they'll call me, and I always tell them, start with the slim first. Do it about 3 days. On the 4th day, you should feel great. Because some people have, different symptoms or side effects of your body balance and your sugar. Y'all all know all this. So I kind of go over the products and how to take it, okay? So the first week, though, after they've had the product for a week, I follow up with, hey, how's it going? Are you drinking your water? One of my last customers that I had, I contacted her within the first week, and she was very discouraged, and she was like, I've gained 2 pounds. And I'm like, well, let me ask, how much water are you drinking? And she's like, oh, that's all I drink. By the way, that they'll tell you that every time. That's all I drink is water. And so I did what I've gotten. I totally stole this from Jana, and I use it now every time, and every time it works perfectly. That whole, well, you're supposed to be drinking half your body weight in ounces, how many water bottles, which size water bottle you use, multiply it out. And then I want you to text me a picture in the morning with how many water bottles you're supposed to drink that day. And that night, text me another picture with how many empty water bottles that you drank that day. And every single time I've used this, by the way, thank you, Jana, because every single time I do it, I get a text back that says, yeah, I'm not drinking all my water. Okay, so that same girl within 2 days had lost 4 pounds after she upped her water intake, and she just wasn't drinking all her water. So anyway, so the week 1 is water. I follow up with week 2 with that how's it going? We might need to readjust your products kind of thing. Week 3 is a huge week to follow up on with brand new customers, okay? Week 3, if they're loving the products, guess what? Did you know you can get it at a discount? This is the perfect time before if they're a preferred customer, before their product ships again to upgrade to an ambassador. Okay, this is a great time on week 3 to upgrade those customers. Then if they did not upgrade, then on week 4, I'm going to follow up again casually, and then I move it to week 6, making it further, and then it usually goes to be about once a month. But you know what? Since I've done this, I don't have very many customers left, because they upgrade. So just kind of keep that in mind as you are going through this. But that's how I go through my customers. How do I keep track? A lot of times it's a spreadsheet, but no, I do my Aaron Cauldron calendar, and I just write it in my calendar when I talk to them, and I move it to a different day, kind of keep track that way, keep a list. Hope that helps. Sure.
All right. Thank you, Sundee. And it does. I mean, as your business grows, it sometimes can get a little harder. So you do want to make sure that you're, keeping in touch with those customers that came to you. So, but it can definitely be done. Okay. Hang on. I lost my place. Okay. Next question. Oh no, this is you, Amber. Did I ask this question? No, this is my question.
Yeah. It's
okay. Sorry, I'm losing track here. Okay, Sundee, what have you found is the most effective way to motivate your team?
Okay, so first off, right now, y'all are in the part of my team that's the fastest growing part of my team, Jane and Amber. So y'all take note and follow what they do. That's kind of what I did when I first joined. I followed Celeste. Celeste was Emerald when I joined. And I pretty much figured out, I'm like, hey, she's promoting every month and she's on a roll, and I'm going to do everything that she can do. So y'all are on the best team right now. Y'all follow what Jen and Amber are doing, because evidently what they're doing is working, okay? I've got some tips for you, though. Know that when you get into this, 80% of your team are going to be those customers that upgraded ambassadors, and they really don't want to work the business, okay? You cannot force somebody to work the business, but don't get discouraged with them either. You need to love them, because guess what? Those are 5 points for you every month. You need to love on them, and you need to keep track with them. To me, you need to follow up with them just like you would customers. At least once a month, check in with them, see how they're doing, love on them. For the rest of your team, your runners, your 20%, they're going to be runners. It's about relationship. I hate using the word network marketing. I love relationship marketing. This is relationship marketing, and you're building relationships, even with people that you already know. I could honestly say that Jana and I are closer now than we have ever been before. I mean, it's all about building relationships. Another thing is Gina and Amber do a great job with y'all's team page. It's very interactive. If you can kind of keep your team page interactive, keep people wanting to comment and grow that way as far as communication. But I like contests, and I think contest helps motivate your team. Even if you don't have the money to put into a contest for your team, even if it's just for bragging rights. Make it fun. As long as you can make it fun for them, that's great. And then promotions. If you can help them promote, meet with them, talk to them on the phone. How can I help you? Can I do a 3-way call? Can I do a Zoom for you, for your team? If you can get them promoting, that's contagious. They once they start promoting and making some more money and getting those bonuses, they will build belief that it can happen. And I did it. I'm promoted to silver. Maybe I can get to gold. And if you're there to encourage them along the way, maybe, it'll help.
Hey, and let me just, Amber, can I say something real quick? I want to tell you what Sundee did in the beginning, because this question is, what does Sundee do to motivate her team? I want to tell you what she did that actually motivated me to want to work the business. 2 things that she mentioned. When I first signed up, I had never sat down with her and heard the comp plan. So I didn't know how it worked. I had no idea big money was to be made with this business. But she did 2 things. She announced a contest one time. She was giving away like $250. I needed a new vacuum. I had no idea that I could actually just work this business and easily make $250. Because I didn't know the comp plan. But I knew that if I put a little effort, I could win her $250 contest and go buy my new vacuum. So contests are huge. I think when you're growing, the more you can put into your business, you get more out of it. I mean, you do have to think of reinvesting some of that money back into your business. And that's what Sundee did when she ran that contest. Plus, I'm a little bit competitive. And the other thing she did was giving props to people. I mean, she was constantly on there like, oh my gosh, look at these people with this high PV. Here's the top 10 of PV. Here's the top recruiters this month. And I'm sitting over here just as a wholesale buyer thinking, well, my goodness, how do I get my name on one of those lists? So it's true. I mean, it really is true. So I think that those are some of the things that, and as our team pages got bigger, it's harder to do more of those contests. But when you're first getting started, it's amazing what people will do for a $20 Target gift card. So I think contests are huge, like Sundee said. And it's honestly what people are looking for. Sundee, somebody asked the question, do you include retail customers and preferred customers on your team pages?
No, it's just for ambassadors only. Now, if you want to have a customer page, I think it's Amber Sheffield that has a customer page and does really well with that. But it's just ambassadors. But okay, 2 things real quick. Gina, I had never heard the vacuum story before.
I did. I still have that vacuum. It's still my favorite vacuum. I remember going to Target and buying the vacuum and telling Steve, look, I won the money. I'm going to go get my vacuum.
But the second thing is, when you're running a team page and you're and you do the shout outs, or I used to call them Woohoo Wednesdays. Don't always do, here's who sponsored the most people, or here's who has the most PV. Do those. You need to do those as well. But think of other things. Think of and sometimes it would take me a while to search on, somebody. I'm looking at the names out here. Let's just say Vicky Westbrook. Vicky made her first Plexus post. Or that, Rachel, finally got her first customer. But look for ways, because people love to see their name written on that page. So think of different things that you can do to brag on them. Because if you always do the the most customers or the high PV or most ambassadors, it's going to be the same people every time. So you need to look at other ways to encourage other people.
Yeah, and just going back to that first question you had, a lot of times when you can do that, and you've all of a sudden given somebody a place in the community of your team page. When you've given them a shout out, then they feel comfortable on there. And then before you know it, they will start to comment. So I think that that's super important.
You want to hear some irony? This is the world's biggest first world problem. My housekeeper killed my vacuum today. So I need a new vacuum. So maybe Jana's next contest should be just give away vacuum, and we can all, I think that would be awesome if you did that. Do a vacuum as a prize.
All right. And you guys, somebody better shoot for the stars for that vacuum if I give one away. I'll have to think about this.
Vacuum, sir.
I'm going to think about it. I got me a, what's the vacuum everybody likes? What is my vacuum?
Dyson, because I had one. And
Dyson, that's right. I couldn't think of the name of it for some reason. All right, if you guys have a Dyson, that might be my next contest.
It is. Mine was 10 years old, so hey. But I still blame Rosa. Anyway. Okay, next. Oh, let me just mention this as we were talking about team pages. We get this question a lot too of when to start a team page. We teach when you have one ambassador, you have a team. Start a team page as soon as you can. It's going to establish you as a leader. It's going to help as people keep adding people. They're going to be able to add them to your team page right away. You're going to be able to communicate with your team better. It may feel a little awkward at first, okay? Where it's like, my mom is my only ambassador, and you're like, hey, mom, this is my team page. I'm doing a contest. That's okay. Keep it going. If you don't know what to post on your page, like Sundee said, look at what your upline is posting. Look at the files that are in their pages. Did you know our team pages have a files tab? And there's gobs of information in there. So start a team page. In my opinion, as soon as you have one ambassador, you have a team, and they are looking to you for leadership. Just remember, they not only joined Plexus, they joined you as well. They didn't join me or Jana or Sundee. They joined you. Okay? Anyway, sorry. There's my spiel. I need a vacuum. And Sundee, yes, get a Roomba. Those things, I have a Roomba too, so I'm not too worried about the other one, but they're amazing. They're amazing. Every once in a while, though, when I'm cooking dinner, it comes and tries to, like, hit my feet. I'm like, get out of here. Okay, question number 4. Do you have a checklist that you go through with each new ambassador to get them introduced on the right track? So talk us through training your newbies.
I do. Now I'm going to make it fast because it usually takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to go through it. So I'm just going to touch on the subjects, and then maybe I'll do a team call in May that goes over exactly what I go over. But I want everybody to know everybody's different and on what they go over. Now, I will say that I'm so stuck in my way that I've done this for a while that I have, I'm really trying to dig into the new, the welcome packs, because it's a great tool. I just haven't used it yet personally because I'm still stuck in my ways. I have a hard time with change. But just know that everybody's different. When you sign people up, you need to be listening to them. Are they going to be your runner? Or are they doing that customer to ambassador upgrade to just get the discount? So you need to, because you don't want to take that person that's like, I'm not selling, I don't want anything to do with it, I just want the discount. You don't want to walk in and be like, hey, you can fast our goal tomorrow, and just, you don't want to scare them. But here's normally what I go over with everybody. One, I go over the products and how to kind of take the products with them. Usually for the person that's just that customer to an ambassador, if they, I'll usually go over what they ordered in the welcome pack. I'm not going to go over all the products if they didn't order all the products, but for the average ambassador I want to do this, I'm going to go over all the products with them. I go over their why. Y'all have heard Gina and Amber and myself talk about know your why. I go over hope and belief. I am a big, big believer in hope and belief, because if hope gets you into network marketing and belief keeps you there. You hope the products work. You hope the comp plan does what it says it does. And I've been doing it for almost 3 years. I know the products work, and you should see my paycheck. So how do we get you from hope to belief? And I've got like 5 things I usually touch on. One is the products. I go into taking the products, using the water, building the belief that your own testimony that way. I go over the team pages. This is where I touch on the team pages. I go over research. You don't have to work this business all the time. You don't have to work it every day, 8 hours a day. But I encourage them like once every other week to research our ingredients and our products, or research the testimonial page. It's going to build the belief that our company really is something big and we are changing people's lives. I go over, the next thing is attend a live event. This would be considered a live event, a Zoom call, but it lets them know it's bigger than them. Because a lot of times when you do another MLM, you feel all alone. And I know we have the team pages, but look at all these people on here that I can see and talk to. It builds your belief. And the last thing is read. And usually I touch on the fact that here, if you were to be a real estate agent or a plumber, you had to read and pass some kind of test to do those professions. You can't just luck into, I want to sign up and sell network marketing. I'm going to do Plexus, and then not know how we do it. And so I encourage them to read. I tell them usually Go Pro by Eric Worre and Walk Your Network Marketing Business to start off with, those 2. And those 2 will paint a really good picture on how to do it. Then I go into goals. And this is where I talk about the comp plan. I usually say, did you know you can get paid next Friday? And I talk about how to do the business builder, because a lot of times people sign up, they just spent money to sign up with the welcome pack, and money is tight. But if you can tell them, if you encourage them that if you sign your first ambassador or 2 ambassadors or 3 ambassadors, you're going to get paid next Friday on that. I talk about the commission, and I talk about preferred customer bonuses and going silver. Usually that's about all I go into the comp plan because like Gina said, it's confusing. 11 different ways. I know what I remember. I can sit here and think about where Gina and Amber sat, we're in Starbucks, and they were looking at me like I was crazy. And it was all going over their head. So I try to bring it into what's attainable for that person, for that new person. How can they make money now? And then as I train them, I will then go over the emerald and the diamond and all that kind of stuff later. But how can you, they really only care about how can they make money right now, because they're not seeing them at diamond. Really, they're only seeing right now. I go over the list, how, big list, customer list, top 10 list, chicken list. I go over how to follow up with people. I give them details on how to do it. And then I talk about, this is the big part at the very end, I talk about treat it like a job. I know that a lot of you still work, and you work full time. You come home, you're tired. You got to cook dinner. You got to do laundry. You got to do homework, and you get all that done, and you're tired, and you don't want to work. Mark it in your calendar. If you will mark it in your calendar, you are more apt to stick to it. Okay, instead of sitting down and be like, oh, if I can just watch, an episode of Dancing with the Stars or whatever you watch, I just want to relax. Well, time gets away from you and you miss it. But if you mark it in your calendar, you're gonna more apt to stick to it. And then 3 things that you have to do. First thing that you do is pay yourself. And what I mean by that is reach out to your list and reach out to people you have not talked to about Plexus before, because those people, that's what's going to pay you money. The second thing you're going to do is follow up, okay? Have your list of people you're following up with. And then the third thing you're going to do is post on Facebook. If you do Facebook first, you will get sucked into the Facebook vortex and you won't get any of the rest of it done, okay? So do what's the reaching out and the follow-up first. But that's kind of what in a real quick, what I go over when I'm talk to somebody new.
Yeah, and Sundee's been doing this training, like what she talked about right now, for probably over a year. And she helped me train she sat down with me one night at Starbucks to train one of my new ambassadors. And so I kind of took most of what all she does and a few other things, and I did put it into a document. It's on our team page, and if you jumped onto any of our trainings last week that I offered, you'll notice that that's exactly what I did. What she walked through is exactly how I train new ambassadors, and it's the document I have on our team page. So I feel like it really covers the basics and the core of what they need to get started. So it is all in a document there, but it's basically what Sundee just said. So it's good stuff. Okay, so let's see. Our next question. Is it my turn, I guess? I think so. Sundee, here we go. Sundee's hot. Her air conditioner's out. Sorry about that. Drink some more water. Okay. Is there anything a person can do when potential customers read bad things about Plexus products on the internet and believe it over you telling them what it has done for you and your husband? It isn't a good feeling, and we've all been there.
Yes. Well, part of my follow-up system that I talk about is I love feedback. I don't care if it's negative feedback or not, because that lets me know they're interested. It might come across to you as negative, but to me, it lets me know they're interested, because if they weren't interested, they wouldn't even respond to you, or they will just flat out tell you I'm not interested. But a lot of times, if it's a negative thing, your job and when you're following up is to help them overcome these obstacles. Okay, a lot of times it's too expensive. Okay, don't take that negatively. You need to realize that's yay. It's an obstacle. I'm going to overcome it. You need to look at it. Just look at it differently. But a lot of times it's just looking at it differently. Now, I personally don't get into the negative trying to prove myself, because they're either going to believe it or they're not, especially now that I'm a dominant ambassador. If you're not going to believe me now, you ain't ever going to believe me, kind of thing. And I still get people that don't believe me, that don't think it works or whatever. And I just smile and bless and release, let them go their own way. But honestly, they never leave my list. I'm still going to follow up with them. But a lot of times when you're following up, if you follow up with testimonies that the products really do work, try to find their trigger. I talk about that when I'm doing my training. What is their trigger? Find out, is it Do they have health issues? Is it migraines? Do they have type 2 diabetes? Do they have allergies? Is it financial? What is their trigger? Because if you can figure out what their trigger is and you follow up and touch that trigger every time, you're eventually going to pique their interest again. And then also my last thing, and I swear by this, I pray kind of the prayer of Jabez over my business every day. Okay. I pray that God put his hand of blessing on me, my team, and my business, that he bring me people that he wants to help through Plexus, through the products, through the business side of it, that he bring the people to me, that he also keep people far away from me, like the hedge of protection around my team, myself, my business, and that he give me the discernment to know between the two types of people. Because when people eventually tell me no or walk away, Jana can tell you this, I don't really get upset. I view it as God's protection over me and my business, and I bless and release. I don't never get upset about it. So I just kind of let it go. It stings a little bit when they go with somebody else that you spent time. And, I had a girl that was a customer of mine for 4 months and was like, I'm not selling, don't ask me, blah, 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 because she kept trying to follow up with her. And then she signed up as an ambassador and somebody else. Bless and release, it was a protection against me. I just look at it that way, and I got to let it go. That is how I handle negative.
I love that, Sundee. And I will say this about Sundee, and this is probably something that has pushed her all the way to Diamond. Sundee's one of the most positive people I know. Like, honestly, you talk to, like, what you see right now is Sundee's what you see is what you get. There's no holding back normally.
That's a good and bad thing.
And she's an open book. But she's generally a very positive person. And we talk about that a lot with Plexus. You've got to have some positivity in this. And you've got to somehow, and it may take a lot of prayer to get there, but you've got to be able to, in the words of the great theologian Taylor Swift, shake it off, let it go and move on. I mean, you've got to be able to do that. It stinks and it burns, and you're kind of, maybe set a time period where you're going to mope over the fact that someone joined another team instead of yours. And then after that, you're moving on. Because the longer you're going to spend being upset about, so-and-so not joining your team, the less time, the more time you're taking away from recruiting someone else or diving into your rock stars and training them and stuff like that. So, yes, in the words of Elsa, let it go. Let it go. And if you have to, just remind yourself of that silly little phrase from that silly song, whatever it's going to take to get you to that place where you're able to do what Sundee was talking about and going, you know what? That's okay. They weren't meant to be on my team. They're not on my team. Let me also say this real quick. It matters who you sign up with. I honestly believe it matters who you sign up with. We've had people contact us, I know Jan and I both have, that say, is there any way I can switch? Or, man, I wish I was on your team. I'm not growing as fast. Not to say that we're doing everything just the perfect way or anything, but if their upline isn't growing and isn't promoting, odds are they're not going to be either. So let that be a lesson to all of us that people, our downline, are looking at us, and if we're not promoting, if we're not adding new level ones, they're probably not going to be doing that either. Sorry, I preached a little sermon there, but anyway, I was thinking about that as you were talking through that. I'm like, that's a great perspective. And I'm thinking, yeah, only Sundee could probably have that perspective, because I think you are such a positive person. And you are definitely an open book.
Just a little.
Y'all, if you ever go to Sundee and you ask for her opinion, you are going to get Sundee's full, honest opinion. So just be ready.
There's no softness to it. I'll give you what the answer is. If you want niceness, go to Jana. Jana's going to soften it up a lot.
I'll still shoot straight with you, though.
Facts. I'll give it to you.
She does it for me. She doesn't soften it for me.
I just want to say something, though. I think something that you guys can take away from this for sure is, I think one of the reasons that we have been so successful is because who I did sign up with. And I already said this in the beginning, is because if I had sat down with Sundee that night at Starbucks and I had walked away with the feeling that Sundee was really happy, stuck at gold, and she was happy to be there. It was like, look, I'm making, what, $400, $500, $600. I don't know what she was making. Probably actually more than that at gold. But if I had walked away from there feeling like that, you know what? I would probably still be stuck at gold to this day, because they did a survey a while back, and I've shared this with the team before, but over 90% of the jewels got into this business just to get it at wholesale prices. And you know what happened? Their upline caught the vision. Their upline had a desire to take it all the way. That is contagious. So if you want your team to take this thing all the way, they have to know that you want it. They have to see you putting in the work and effort to get there. And then it's going to be contagious to them, and they're going to want it. So if you're sitting there going, man, I wish I'd get me a rock star. I wish I'd get me somebody who would go somewhere with this business and want this business. You need to sit back and evaluate where am I? What does my team perceive me doing? Do they think that I want to be a diamond someday, or at least an emerald? Do they think I want to be an emerald someday? If they don't, then that's what's stopping you. That's where the wall is, and that is why you're not growing. Because if your team can't see you going there, they're not going to go there. So I tell people a lot. I knew Sundee was sitting there that night. Oh my goodness, you should see what my friend Alicia's making. And I mean, I hate to talk at all about being money, but here's what you need to know. The product issue, we were already gun-ho on products. Amber and I loved the Plexus products. That's why we even sat down with Sundee. So put that all aside. I mean, this whole company leads with our products, hands down. I would take the products if I wasn't making a dime off of them. I did for like 6 months. So I paid for my own products. So put that aside. Sundee sat there that night and said, my friend Alicia, I've known her for 20 years. I went to Bible study with her. We were in these groups together. She showed me how it was a personal connection. I didn't know Alicia at the time. And then she told me about Beth. And then she told me about Celeste. And from Sundee's passion in her voice, I knew Sundee was going to get there. And so, you know what? I was like, well, take me with you. I want to go with you. If Sundee had just said, look what I'm making, like, isn't this awesome? Like, this is making a car payment, or this is buying our groceries, then I would have probably said, yeah, okay, I want to make enough to buy my groceries every month. So I hope you guys can see what I'm saying here. If you are really struggling to find that rock star, and if you are really struggling to get your team motivated and growing, you might need to look at where you are, and you need to look at how your team is perceiving you and where you want to go with this business. I have people that are like, well, I don't want to post on my team page that I want to promote, or I don't want to post on my team page that I want to be an emerald someday. Your team needs to know that is your goals. They need to know that you want to get there, because I guarantee you have some sitting there on your team thinking, well, I kind of want to get there, but I feel like I'm being held up. Like, I don't know, because my upline doesn't necessarily want it. So anyway, I really contribute Sundee to a lot of being able to get to where I got. I knew Sundee was going to take it all the way to the top with or without me. So anyway, I'm glad I jumped on board and decided to do it with her.
I am too. I'm very grateful. I will say that, I mean, on the same subject, as far as I didn't catch the vision. Like I said, when I signed up, I wanted 5 customers. That is it. And I ended the first month at silver. And so, because I had done another MLM and I was terrible at it. I mean, terrible. Worst person doing an MLM ever. And so I thought, I can't do MLMs. I'm sure y'all have heard people. You talk to people like, oh, I'm really bad at it. Meet one right here. I was terrible. And I just wanted the 5 customers. Ended the first month at silver. And a little thing in my head went, hey, I wonder if I could do gold. That's the next level. So it was just what is right in front of me. And I thought, I wonder if I can get to gold. When I hit gold, that's kind of about the time Gina signed on. I had realized I can do this and I'm going to run with it. But not only that, and Gina and Amber both know this about me, I'm very I plan, and I know, okay, so if you're on the call tonight and you're trying to reach gold, okay, it's easy. You need 20 on average, 20 levels 1 through 3, you need 100 points, and that's 20 people, okay? So I had a little sign and I was writing names on them as they were joining my team, and I knew that I needed X amount of people, okay? So then senior gold is about 50 people on your levels 1 through 3 as well. And you can get paid on more, so you have to average, you have to do the points different. But I knew exactly how many people I needed at each promotion to get me there. And so some months, you know what, when I looked at the points, I really wanted to promote to the next level, but I didn't have the people, okay? And I knew that I'm like, okay, I need 20 people to join my team. And so we would do like a contest and promote, but I didn't try to push it that month. I knew it would be a working month and move it to the next month, that I would promote the next month. I will give you a tip here. It is easier to give birth than resurrect the dead. How many have heard that and know what it means? I think a lot of y'all haven't heard it yet. What I mean by that is it's easier to sponsor a new person than it is to get a white line to turn on, okay? So if somebody turns off, that doesn't mean you just ignore them forever. You want to follow up with them, see if you can fix why they turned off. But keep sponsoring new people. It's easier to sponsor new people than it is to bring back the dead. Another thing, if you're trying to promote, is look at, like, we're ending April right now. So when May 1st gets here, look at who joined your team in April and March. If you have any white lines, those are easy to flip back on because they're brand new. It could be an error, user error. They could have just went and upgraded their back office and it moved them to the next month. And so you just need to walk them through that. But that's just my advice. I don't know if Gina and Amber want to add to that or not.
No, it's great advice. You have to have those growth months. You have to figure out how to plan for those promotions. They don't just magically happen. You have to plan for them. So I think it's really important. That's good stuff. All right. I think we're going to wrap up this call because I think the storms are coming.
I hear lightning. I hear thunder. I hear lightning.
Yeah. Do you hear that lightning?
I hear lightning.
Wow, you're good. Yes, so let's go ahead. I think we ought to wrap up this call. And Sundee, thanks so much for getting on here with us. I think it's so important that our team knows who you are. And I think I love when I hear all the personal connections of how you knew Alicia and how Alicia knew Beth and how Beth knew Celeste. And because you see them out there and you think everybody's friends, but it wasn't always that way before Plexus. So
it is fun. I actually knew Alicia and Beth.
Crazy. Yeah, you did. You knew both of them. I think that's so cool. So it's just neat how it all works out. And man, I'm just so thankful for the team I ended up on. We are on such a great team of people who really have paved the way. They desired to take it all the way. They are there for us. They want to help us grow. So I think that obviously is it trickles down. And so anyway, I'm just thankful you got on here, Sundee. Such great tips. I love it. And tell us real quick how you got your name, because everybody asked me that this is such an unusual name and they want to know how you got the name Sundee.
Okay, if I'm in a hurry, I tell people my dad's a pastor, and they're like, "Oh, okay," but my dad didn't name me. My mom did. When she was little, she had a lady that she knew that had a baby and named her Sundee Sue. And every year on my birthday, I call Dorothy Lyons and thank her for intervening in that. She was at the hospital when I was born, and my mom was getting ready to put my name on the birth certificate as Sundee Sue. And Miss Lyons said, "Please don't do that to that child. She's going to get picked on enough being Sundee." And so I am Sundee Michelle, but that's the short version, short and sweet. And I was born on a Thursday, if y'all want to ask. I was born on a Thursday.
You're so funny. It's just such an unusual name, and people think it's Sunday. I'm like, it's Sundee.
I'll answer anything close.
She does, and she will. You can call her Sunday all day long. But anyway, all right, Sundee, I really do appreciate it. Linda Brown, I see you on here. Do you mind unmuting and praying us out of this call? And we're going to go ahead and shut her down, and everybody take cover if you need to take cover. Stay safe tonight, guys.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for having time with friends. And Lord, what we learned tonight, how we can grow our business, we just ask your blessing on our businesses, Lord. But tonight especially, we want to uplift the people that are in possible harm's way. I pray that you would be with our friends and loved ones in Oklahoma, in Kansas, in Missouri, and in Texas, Lord. I pray your hedge of protection around them. Keep their homes safe. Keep them safe, Lord Jesus. May we give you praise and glory for all the wonderful things that you have done for us and for our lives. We love you. We thank you for loving us. For it's in your precious name that we pray. Amen.
Love you, team. You guys be careful tonight.
Good night, everybody. We did record this, so we'll upload it soon.
Getting a chance to read all the comments.
Are we going to have an after party tonight?
As long as we're all safe, I'm sitting by a whole bunch of windows.
But
I feel like I think it's just because of all the crazy weather we have. I feel so on edge, and then Steve had to go to work, so I'm like, that just gives me a whole nother thing to worry about, is that he's out working in it. But I just feel like very on edge tonight for some reason. We have a bathroom that's like the size of a porta potty that me, Jonathan, and our 2 dogs have to get inside of. It is a little bathroom.
We're okay for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming though. It is coming. Amber, I bought these new bars. By the way, you need to try them.
Oh, do they have?
They're called. No, okay, so they're called RX bars. This one's open. Okay, so they come in all different flavors. I ordered them, and they're really, I like them, but they have a bunch of different flavors. So I ordered them today, though, and I'm like, Sarah, you can try one. She looks at me real serious. Mom, is that the bars that have the crickets in them? I'm like, no, they do not have crickets in them.
Did the girls tell you they took some from my house yesterday and they want to try?
Yes, they want to try to give them to friends. I'm like, please don't make any friends mad.
Allie's like,
I'm called RX bars, and they have all different flavors. This one is chocolate sea salt, but all it has is 3 egg whites, 6 almonds, 4 cashews, and 2 dates. It's good.
Okay,
it's really good, and it's Whole30 approved.
The cricket bars, I order stuff all the time from this place called Thrive Market, which I highly recommend, by the way. You can order lots of paleo stuff. There's lots of other stuff on there too, but I normally just look at the paleo. They ship it straight to your door. It's there in a few days. So I was on there last week, and I see these other bars. I normally do the Laura bars. I have one right here. I normally do the Laura bars, but I thought I'm going to try something different. So I see these bars. I'm like, oh, okay, and it's paleo approved and all this. So Sunday morning, I'm running late for church. Jonathan was already at church because he was working in the media department. And I just grab a bar and I head out the door. And on my way to church, I'm like, I don't think I like these. I'm not going to order them anymore. But I ate the whole thing. Okay, I ate the whole thing. I came up from church. I'm cleaning up the kitchen. I see the box that these bars are in. And it says in tiny little deceptive print, made with cricket flour. I Google cricket flour, and it is what you think it is. It's flour that has ground up cricket pieces in it. And, I mean, lots of protein there, I guess. But so I told Jonathan, he's like, if you start chirping or rubbing your legs together, I'm taking you to the doctor. So yeah, they're sitting on the kitchen island. I don't want them in my pantry. That's so stupid.
You had somebody post that they wanted to try them. Are you going to send them to that person?
I don't know, because the girls wanted some yesterday, and Jonathan wants to take some to work and try to give them to some of his buddies and see if they'll eat them, and then he can tell them, hey, those had crickets in them. Guys, but I don't know. They weren't, and I've had people ask, were they good before you knew? And no, they weren't. They're called EXO bars, EXO, and I have discovered that EXO stands for exoskeleton. It sure does.
Somebody wants to try.
Had they been called exoskeleton bars, I would not have ordered them.
That could be your new contest prize. Who wants to try the new bar?
My next contest.
For next contest, we're giving away a vacuum and cricket bars. That's going to be exciting. Everybody's going to be so motivated.
Make it a mystery prize and then slide it in there.
It'll be one or the other. Either you behind door 1 is the Cricket bars. Behind door 2 is the new vacuum. What are you going to get? That's hilarious.
All grossed out. And what is she saying?
Whoever does the worst has to take the Cricket bars. That's so awful. Terry's like, I'll just stick with Kinder Scott.
Yeah, it's gross. I can't.
Yeah, it'll be like, let's make it up.
I'm reading about them. You can go look at my Facebook page and see this post. And then I posted a screenshot about these. And I'm like, who thinks of this stuff? Like, let's grind up crickets and put it in with some stuff and sell them off as protein bars. Like, that's just disgusting.
I bet it was good for you.
I was real grossed out. Like, got a little nauseous, brushed my teeth like 6 times that day. And then Jonathan really grossed me out because we were sitting on the couch, or we were upstairs, and he's like, what is that? And I'm like, what? This was like later in the day. He's like, there's a leg and it's still twitching, stuck in your teeth. And I was like, stop, that's disgusting. Like freaking out. Anyway.
That's hilarious. Oh, it's so funny. It's gross, but funny.
Can I just please say that Julie McNeely always looks beautiful on every Zoom call we ever do? Look at her.
And she's so sweet, too, aren't you, Julie?
Aren't you? Tell us how sweet you are, Julie.
Tell us, Julie.
Before I'll claim beautiful, but
I'm afraid to be naked.
well, I did not say that.
Oh, sorry. I'm reading out loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was like, afraid. Sundee, I just want to say I love you. Thank you. I needed to hear you tonight. I'm struggle bussing. And
you're so sweet.
Almost did not get on the call. And I was like, no, it's Sundee. I need to hear Sundee.
Oh,
You are so sweet.
I think I can. I'm like 6 people short for Ruby.
6.
That's it?
Girl, you can still do that.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
I am stressing like.
Well, and all the backup orders. Do you have others that have backup orders still yet to go through? Because they're not all out yet.
I do. I've counted those out. I had like 6 blues that were supposed to go through today that have entered status.
Did you see my post, Julie, on the leaders page?
No, I didn't see it.
Go read it.
Okay.
Go read it. You're going to be calling customer service. You've got it, girl. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Julie, send me the information and we'll either call together or I'll call for you or something.
Okay. Well, tonight I spent time with my downline. I got all the names, sent them all the info, and said, reach out and everything.
It's a glitch, Julie. Don't worry about it.
These are these are the people that I need, and I'm like filling them in. You were talking about your 20 people for gold. I'm like, I'm going to fill in these blanks. This is my Ruby paper.
Lonnie, we've still got plenty of time too.
Okay,
we're gonna get you there.
Keep telling me that.
10 points. Yeah, that's 2 people, Leilani. You got this. Y'all, who else is like 20 points from gold? Katrina, that's close. Who else is close? And like really shooting for it. All right, so we're praying for Leilani, Katrina, and Julie specifically, the ones that are still on this call. About 25 points. 2 people.
I have a cool story though. This is kind of crazy.
Sure.
So I really, today I was at work, and this morning I was helping unload cars because I work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at my kids' school. And my boss, the principal lady, she came out and she said, I need to meet with you at 1 o'clock. I was like, sure. So 1 o'clock comes around and we came in. She said, all right. So we sat down. She said, I need to talk to you about 2 things. First of all, I do counseling. She said, so I need you to, this is about this child I want you to counsel. And second thing's plexus. And then she just went back and we talked for like ever about the counseling part. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, like, is she mad? Like that, have I said something about plexus to upset her? Like the whole time I'm thinking, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, so what have I done? I'm like thinking back through. So anyway, then she said, and so finally we got interrupted about 1,000 times. And then finally she said, okay, now the last thing I want to talk to you about plexus. I don't even know if it can help me with this, but I want to try it. I'm wanting to lose weight. And so she's like, literally, she doesn't even, so I tell her about it. And she said, okay, yeah, do that. What you just said, let's do it. I was like, okay. It was
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah, so that was a cool thing today. So that, I just thought I'd share. It's like when your boss lady pulls you in the office to order Plexus.
That's really cool.
That's very cool.
You're almost Ruby. You'll be Emerald before you know it. You'll be quitting that job.
Oh, listen, girl, that is my motivation. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful. I am where I am. I know for a reason, and I trust the Lord for that. But, yeah, this and Jesus, telling people, loving on people about Jesus, that's my full-time job that I'm headed towards right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We finally retired Trey from his job this past week. Everything's final. Gina, thank you so much for praying for us. Everything's final. Everything's great. It's wonderful. I'm so excited. Of course, he was falling down on the job today. We were at the doctor doing well checkups, and the kids were running amok while I was talking to the nurse. And I'm like, Trey, you're falling down on your duty. You're retired now. You have to help me with the dad stuff. Kids are just running amok.
That's funny. I'm so happy for you guys, though. It's exciting.
Thank you for praying. It took lots of prayers.
I know, that's the big step.
Anyone else have any other questions or like cool stories or anything like that before we go? I love that just a minute ago, me and Jana were both eating. I was eating.
It was healthy.
Just like.
I signed up tonight right before the call, and she's somebody I've been talking to for about 3 months, and we just have been messaging on Facebook. She'd never let me call her, and I finally got to talk to her tonight, and we got around to talking about the price and what it would cost her, and she started laughing, and I said, what? She said, I thought this was going to cost me $400 or $500 a month. That's why I kept putting you off. I didn't realize it was going to be so inexpensive. So
I love
she
that.
was so excited. She'd been talking with somebody about something else that was going to cost her like $400 a month just to get started with the basics. And I got her going on triplex at wholesale pricing for $109 a month, and she couldn't believe it was that inexpensive.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And it helped that you're going to refund her $34.95, Jana.
Yes, I'm sure it does. That's so awesome.
That's a contest, by the way, Jana's doing on her levels 1 through 3 page. So if you're not familiar with that, it just means you're not her levels 1 through 3. I didn't want anybody to be like, what?
Where was that announcement?
Claire, where's the baby?
Claire? Oh, there you are.
She's nursing, so I'm not going to show you the baby right now.
Yes, okay, that's okay.
Awkward.
That's so funny.
But if she stops, I'm happy to show you the baby.
That's funny. Did y'all have
Yeah,
someone already?
Yeah, we were. The reason why I jumped on really late was because we were down in our shelter. The tornado went right over us.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it ended up going like 2 miles east of us, and now it's like up near, like north of Edmond. So,
Wow. I'm so sick of crazy, crazy weather. Oh.
Tomorrow is the 5-year anniversary of April 27th tornadoes that hit us really hard here in North Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, it's so scary.
Well, and like Jana was saying, we've had such crazy weather here. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had hail, this big, putting massive holes in people's roofs. Jana's mother-in-law had these big old, and like in her yard, she's got holes in her yard this big. And they're this deep. Well, you can't even see both my hands. They're this deep because of how hard it hit. And so now they say bad weather and we're all on edge. And it is a big storm. You can see it, but we're even more on edge because it's been crazy.
And we had that horrible tornado that came through here just a couple miles from my house on December 26th. So, and it's still a mess in our city from that. So, yeah, it just makes you a little nervous. I know it's going to be okay, but.
Well, ever since we went and helped with that tornado cleanup, anytime there's a storm, like seeing it firsthand and knowing that it's like 5 minutes down the street, 10, 15 minutes down the street, it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. So that being said, I think I'm going to jump off here. We've got our little bathroom all set. I put some pillows in there to hold over our heads, some candles, a flashlight, some water. I don't know what else. Oh, I put our wallets and our car keys in there because I'm like, hey, we might want those.
Do you have any Plexus?
Did you see Susie and Chris McCall's post about getting all their Plexus stuff?
You might want to put some Plexus in there, Amber. That could be important.
Okay.
You might
That'd
We
be a
put
flex
our
post.
marriage
I'd like
license
to
in
see
there.
a picture of that later. That you're
like I
prepared.
said, our bathroom that we all have to get in is this big. But I did also wrap up our wedding album, our wedding Bible, and one other really important wedding gift, and wrapped them all in plastic in there in the bathroom under the sink.
Yeah, we don't have basements here in Texas. Nobody here in Texas has basements. They don't build basements here. So
You can't really have them because of how dry typically our soil is and how.
and so, yeah, our soil's just not good for basements.
We've got the rock, and we're sitting on like bedrock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quick question. How do you guys approach strangers? I'm assuming you mean about Plexus, because otherwise, danger. You're just like, you're a stranger. I do this pretty often, especially if it's someone that it's easy to strike up a conversation with, like someone doing my hair, which the other day, Jan and I went to get our hair done, and the girl and I just talked, and she was like, oh, I'm familiar with Plexus. And then she just like shut it down. So I didn't keep pursuing that. But there's a great video out there by Sonia Dudley that she talks specifically about this. And I kind of use her method. I think her video is just called Talking to Strangers About Plexus. And she just goes through, you see someone at the grocery store or whatever that could use Plexus, which, let's be honest, anyone could use our products, and most everyone could use our business. You have your business card ready, or another method we'll tell later in just a minute. And you just walk up to them and say, hey, I have a new amazing product. It was originally made for diabetics, but it can also help with, and you list 5 or 6 things that it can do. It can help with arthritis, fibromyalgia, weight loss. I always say weight loss, but I never say it first because that sounds kind of rude. Like, hey, weight loss, buddy. It can help with migraines. I'll list 5 or 6 things. So what I've just done is I've let them know, if they've already heard of Plexus, it's not just about weight loss. And even if they have or they haven't, I've let them know all of these other things that it can help with. And hopefully they've thought of 2 or 3 other people that these products can help with. They've thought of grandma that has diabetes, or, dad who has on cholesterol medicine or whatever. And then I'll just simply say, if you know of anybody, do you know of anybody that could benefit from these products? 9 times out of 10, yes, I could. And someone else. They normally always say they could. And then you kind of start building that conversation. Now, that being said, I have never signed one single stranger as a level 1. I don't know if Jana and Sundee have. This business is all about relationships. And holding events, sure, that's great. But one of the beautiful things about Plexus, you don't have to hold events and have complete strangers come and present stuff. You don't have to approach strangers. This business is all about relationships. All like Sundee called it, relationship marketing. So that's what I do. And I honestly got that from Sonia Dudley. If you don't want to do the business card thing, and this is a great little tip too, already have Facebook pulled up on your phone and just ask them, hey, could we maybe be Facebook friends, and I can send you some more information. So then you just become Facebook friends with them. They're going to see all of your other Plexus posts as well. Sundee, did you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I did a little bit differently. I've signed probably 3 or 4 strangers. I don't leave with the product, because usually it's a short amount of time and that you have with them, and they're not gonna walk up and be like, hi, I have fibromyalgia. They just don't share what they have. You can't. To me, the products take a relationship. It takes a bonding a little bit before they're going to share with you what they have, and usually you have a short amount of time. So I always lead with the business. And usually it's somebody. Think about this. I talk to everybody that's in retail or that's a waitress, somebody that has waited on me. And usually I'm like, hey, you know what? Rachel, you've done a great job tonight. I would love to have somebody like you on my team. Have you ever heard of Plexus? And they're usually yes or no. If they say yes, I don't stop, because what if it was just the last customer, gave them a card and threw it away? So I usually will keep, well, that's great. You need to contact that person because it's a great product. It's a health supplement and it helps with, and I give, like Amber said, I give a few things that it helps with. And usually they're like, well, I might be interested. And, or I'll, instead of doing the products, I'll be like, hey, Rachel, you've done a great job. Do you ever look at ways of making more money, making extra money? And usually they say yes. And that's when I, have you heard of Plexus? Yes or no? It's a health supplement company, helps with all kinds of things. I probably list 3. And then I go right into, everybody's different. My first check, I made $500. My second one, I made $1,700. And you wouldn't believe what I made now. I don't tell them what I make because 1, they don't believe me. And 2, it's none of their business. So usually the $500, that's life changing for some people, that $500. And then I'm like, I would love to share some information